Hello students, welcome to my YouTube channel, The Eco, a channel created for teaching English to the students of Higher Secondary Second Year course under Assam Higher Secondary Education Council. I am Pranjal Dotto, Assistant Professor and Head, Department of English, Sorpotha College. Today I am going to discuss the poem A Thing of Beauty, composed by John Keats. You can get the poem on page number 106 and 107 of your textbook Flamingo. So in the beginning I would like to tell you something about the poet. John Keats was a famous English romantic poet. He was one of the main figures of the second generation of romantic poets, and he was born in London on 31st October 1795. And the important works of John Keats include the Odes, the Sonnets, the Epistles, Endymion, a poetic romance, Lamia, and Hyperion. The poem A Thing of Beauty is actually a part of Endymion, a poetic romance. Now I would like to give you line by line explanation of the poem. The poem begins with a famous line, "A thing of beauty is a joy forever." Now, what's the meaning of a thing of beauty, dear students? It means anything that is beautiful, or anything that is lovely, or any beautiful thing. What is the meaning of forever? It means always. Hence, what does the line means? It means that anything that is beautiful is a joy forever, or any beautiful thing can give us immense joy, absolute happiness, and everlasting joy. Beautiful things are sources of endless joy. And what does the poet say? Its loveliness increases. Students, what's loveliness? Loveliness means beauty. So the beauty or loveliness of a beautiful things goes on increasing day by day. Then the poet says again, it will never pass into nothingness. Nothingness means zero, void, or absence. It means the quality of being nothing. So beauty of a beautiful thing will never be absent. It will never become a zero. It will never decrease. It will never reduce. And it will never disappear. Then the poet says, but we will keep a bower quiet for us. Bower means shady place under trees. Quiet means silent, calm, tranquil, or peaceful. So the poet says, beauty provides us with a silent and peaceful shady place. Then he says, a sleep full of sweet dreams and health and quiet breathing. So the beauty is like a beautiful shady place which gives us sleep full of sweet dreams, good health, and peaceful breathing. It gives us relaxation, good health, and peace. Thus, a beautiful thing gives us both physical and mental happiness. Then the poet says, therefore, on every morrow means so every tomorrow. What do you do every tomorrow? Are we reading a flowery band? Reading means binding and circling. What do we read or bind? We make or bind a garland of flowers. Why do we make or bind a garland of flowers? We make a garland of flowers to tie or bind ourselves with the earth. The poet says that there are so many beautiful things in the world which tie up with the earth. It is because of the beautiful things in our lives that we are inspired or encouraged to live peacefully. In other words, the beautiful things encourage us to live in this world happily and peacefully. Then we come across the lines, spite of despondence, of the inhuman dirt, of noble natures, of the gloomy days, of all the unhealthy and overdarkened ways made for our suffering. Spite of despondence means in spite of depression, in spite of hopelessness, and in spite of frustration. The poet says that in our lives we have depression, we have hopelessness, we have frustrations. We have so many troubles, so many tensions, so many anxieties. Then he says, of the inhuman dirt of noble natures. Dirt means lacking. So what is lacking here, dear students? Good people with nobility. There are so many people around us, but most of them don't have good qualities and most of them are very selfish. Nowadays, people of good qualities are missing. Of the gloomy days means in spite of the sad days, in spite of the dark days. Then he says, of all unhealthy and overtaken ways made for our searching. The poet suggests that when we are searching for good things, when we are trying to achieve our goals, we fail to achieve the good results, our ways are darkened and we become unhealthy. The poet says, although we have depression, frustration, troubles, and tensions in our lives, although we don't have people with good qualities around us, although we have sad moments in our life, although we suffer from diseases and we are unsuccessful, so in spite of all, some shape of beauty moves away the pall from our dark spirits. The beautiful things around us remove our sorrows, give us hope, and make us happy. Pall means darkness, gloom, sorrow, or unhappiness. Dark spirits means our sad hearts, our sorrowful hearts. Then the poet says, such the sun, the moon, trees old and new, sprouting a shady boon for simple sheep. The sun, the moon, old trees and young plants are all examples of beautiful things created by nature. When we become unhappy, and at the time if we see the rising sun or the setting sun over the hills or the moon in the sky, if we see the old trees and young plants in the forest, we feel happy. Beautiful things like trees and plants around us provide shady places, not only for human beings, but also for the simple animals like the sheep. And such are daffodils with the green world they live in. The daffodils are bright yellow flowers, and the green world they live in means the green forest where daffodils are blooming. The poet says that daffodils blooming in the green forest can also remove darkness from our minds and make us happy. Then the clear rills that for themselves a cooling cover make against the hot season. Rills means small streams. What do the small streams do for themselves? They make a cooling covert for themselves. Cooling covert means cooling shelter, a cooling protection. The streams make a cool shelter for protecting themselves from the hot or summer season. Whichever area the streams pass through, they make the area cool for themselves, especially in the summer season. The poet has used the expression, the mid-forest break here. Break is the process of slowing down. Hence, he means to say that the streams flow very slowly through the forest, rich with sprinkling of fair musk rose blooms, means the streams are rich with the fragrance of sweet-smelling musk rose blooming on its both sides. And such too is the grandeur of the domes. Grandeur means brightness, splendor, importance, and doom means death. We have imagined for the mighty dead. The poet says that we attach so much importance to the mighty people who are dead, or lovely tales that we have heard or read. So we get inspired to live in this world when we hear or read about the biographies or the stories of success and failures of the famous people. An endless fountain of immortal drink pouring unto us from the heaven brink. Fountain means spring. Here it means source. Brink means edge. The poet says that the stories of the famous people come to us in the form of a fountain or spring that teaches the lessons of immortality. All these beautiful things come from the edge of the heaven In other words, the beautiful things are gifts or creations of the heaven. So this is the line by line explanation of the poem A Thing of Beauty, composed by famous romantic poet John Keats. I think you, dear students, have understood the poem. And actually, this is my first venture, and I may be slight fast or maybe slow. I don't know exactly, and so I want your cooperation and your views, your comments in this regard. So I thank you very much for your kind attention. Thank you once again. Thank you.